I do not condone the use of any drugs. The following information on psilocybin mushrooms is being shared solely based on harm reduction and drug safety. Just note that this is not a mushroom picking guide. I'm just casually answering a question from our monthly Patreon Q&A video. And please check your local laws before hunting these magic fungi, as the legal consequences may not be worth it. So our first question comes from Psychotropic, who asks, how did you find out about picking Subaeruginosa in Victoria, / when did you first successfully find / ID a sub? Cheers. For those who are listening at home, psilocybe subaeruginosa is a species of psilocybin mushrooms that grow in Victoria, Australia, and also New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. And these guys are pretty potent, at least compared to the standard cubensis mushrooms. And what's interesting about the subs is that they grow in wood chips and creeks and near pine trees and things like that, versus the cubensis, which grows out of cow shit. So it's cool, don't have to wash away any of those cow poo particles.
As you can see from the top, they can look very, very similar to the poisonous lookalikes, but when you actually look at the stem, they're usually more white in color, and of course they bruise blue. You can even see on the rim here. Don't eat that guy, he'll kill you. You see how these guys can look quite similar to the psilocybin mushrooms? See the stem, how it's all dark and the frills are yellow. These guys can literally kill you. See, sometimes you gotta check the frills and stuff. They got many bugs in them. If there's like 1 or 2, it's alright. As soon as you dry them, they'll piss off. But sometimes when there's too many bugs, look at that. Oh, that's fucked. And then people wonder why they get sick and throw up from these guys. Can you imagine that? Digesting that shit.
Ew, the bugs are flying out.
How did I find out about picking Subaeruginosa in Victoria? Just a few friends that knew how to pick mushrooms taught me. But it wasn't until someone reached out to me a couple years ago, basically claimed that he knew his shit and he knew a lot of cool mushroom picking spots. And so, I don't know, I had a good feeling. So I responded to him, then we met up, and he basically taught me how to pick mushrooms. And yeah, I learned a lot. Like, I went from like a beginner who knew how to identify mushrooms to like intermediate, where it was like easy peasy Japanesey.
Another one. There's another one. They're everywhere. Golden treasure.
Something that I would say about this is, if you are trying to ID psilocybin mushrooms, no matter what species it is it's best to just go with someone who's an experienced picker, right? Because, I mean, yeah, you can search on Google and just go on images and stuff like that, but you're gonna miss out on the nuances, on like how it feels, right? How it smells, and just things like that. And when you go with someone who knows their shit, you're gonna learn so much quicker, and you're gonna avoid making mistakes in the future. So yeah, that's my advice. Go with someone who's experienced. So Tristan Cobain asks, Tom, have you fully recovered from your Iboga experience? Why do you think this experience was so detrimental for you? Or the best, rather. It's like that saying goes, something along the lines of, what may seem like a crisis at first ends up being a lesson. And then further down the track, that lesson turns into a gift. Assuming that you integrate it, of course. Now, this is the stage that I'm at now. First 9 months after this Iboga experience, complete regret, trauma. I wish I never even touched psychedelics to begin with. I wish I never started a YouTube channel, and there was just so much regret and pain and fucking hell. Like, there are no words to express the amount of darkness I experienced, especially for those first few months after that Iboga trip. And it's hard to see a crisis as a lesson, let alone a gift, whilst you're in it. But after 9 months, I kind of realized, you know what, this is a very powerful lesson, and this needed to happen, because if that trip didn't happen, I wouldn't have completely reevaluated my life to the intensity as I did. It wouldn't have grounded me as a human being as it did, and I would have probably gone down a much darker path in the future if that didn't happen, right? So it made me do a complete, 90-degree turn and approach life a little bit differently, a little bit more vigilantly, a little bit more grounded. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, was this experience detrimental? No, I would go as far as to say that it was the most life-changing trip of my life. The one that gave me the most tangible gains, I suppose. And it's weird to say because it was so fucked up. And would you, if you ask me, would I do it again? Nah, fuck no. Even though I know that I got all these gains, I'm more grounded and blah, 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 it was so horrific that it's like, fuck, I don't know if I'd go through that again, but you know, it definitely needed to happen. Like, I sincerely mean this when I say that it was a gift and was, yeah, part of God's plan, I suppose, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, that was wild. It's just one of those experiences that, like, I'm sure many of you are probably sick of hearing, but at the same time, I've only just scratched the surface when it comes to this topic. And it's something that I know I've said before, but I will go into more depth in the future. I want to, I don't know, create something that kind of encapsulates that whole experience, but more importantly, the lessons that I gained from it. I have absolutely no desire to trip, still to this day, but whereas before it was more from a fear base, now it's from like, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Life is awesome. Like, I really don't feel the need to kind of mess with that or to take an external substance to have personal growth or whatever, you know. It's that kind of mentality that put me down that dark path to begin with. But it was all a divine plan, and everything needed to happen as it happens, you know. So it's one of those things. If you were forced to, would you rather do Datura or Bromo Dragonfly?